you. Sorry for being late due to the technical issue. Chalo, anyways, let us first of all, very good evening to the organizers and the participants of this FDP program. So as you know that yesterday we had finished up the very important test, that is independent sample t-test and one-way ANOVA, right? And both the tests are parametric test, okay? And because of the reasons that one is that the very first condition is the assumption of normality. Second is that your dependent variable must be interval or ratio data, no significant outlier. So these, and you also the homogeneity of variance. So these are the four important conditions, four important conditions to apply to go for independent sample t-test and the one-way ANOVA, right? So with this, our parametric test is covered. So as you know that I think I've also told you the basic things that what is the difference between factor, construct, variable. Variables, there are two types of variable. I think, independent variable and dependent variable. But in the advanced, you can say techniques, you have the moderating variable and mediating variables. Okay. So anyways, we are not going to touch that part, but most importantly, you should know that independent and dependent variable. Okay. And so these are the things, basic things we have done. We started with the types of scale. Okay, we have the nominal scale, ordinal scale, interval scale, and ratio scale, right? I hope you recall those topics, recall those things in the research. And then we also discussed about scaling techniques, comparative scaling techniques and non-comparative scaling techniques. And we also discussed that Likert scale is a non-comparative scaling technique. It is an interval scale, it is a rating scale. So all the parametric tests, they have the condition that your target variable must be interval or the ratio type of data. Is it clear to you? So anyways, today we are going to go with the non-parametric test, and today I'm going to teach you the king of non-parametric test, that is a chi-square test. Okay, it is called the king of non-parametric test in a layman sense. Okay, so at the same time, if the time permits, then I will go for the discriminatory analysis, which is again very important multi-discriminant analysis technique. So can I share the screen first? Let me share the screen. Okay. Just a moment. Okay. Right. So can anybody tell me that is the screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Is it visible? All right. So we are on the day 5. So today we are going to cover the very important non-parametric test, that is chi-square test. I think it is very popular test. Okay. So as usual, the learning outcome for the next session is that understand the concept of chi-square test, and we are going to able to generate the SPSS sheet as per the requirement of chi-square test and ability to execute chi-square test with SPSS. So these are the 3 important outcomes. So let me first take your test. Suppose you have these bivariate analysis and you have the dependent variable metric and your independent variable is metric. Can anybody write in the chat box that which of the technique or test that we can apply if our dependent variable is metric or our independent variable is metric? For example, if I would likely to study the relationship between, you can say, the sales and advertisement, because advertisement expenses is also a metric data and sales in rupees is also a metric data. Can anybody write in the chat box that which of the regression? Very good, very nice, very wonderfully written. Yes, we can go for regression. We can apply the linear regression. Okay, when we have the one independent variable that is metric and the dependent variable that is also a metric. And ANOVA is a type of regression. Okay, ANOVA is also another form of regression. But anyways, regression where we have the two variables and both the variables are metric data, then we can go for regression. So here we can apply regression. Okay, the next, tell me, suppose if the independent variable is non-metric. Non-metric means like you have male, female, high, low, okay, non-metric, categorical, and your dependent variable is metric. Your dependent variable is metric, for example, the customer satisfaction, or you can say the customer preference, which we can measure in the interval scale. Okay, then which of the hypothesis testing you can apply? Very good, Nilesh. Yeah, absolutely right. You can go for independent sample t-test here, or you can go for one-way ANOVA. If it is more than two categories, then obviously you can go for the one-way ANOVA. Otherwise, you can go for the independent sample t-test. But the third box which is there, where we have your independent variable is metric and your independent variable is non-metric. Okay, this we are going to do today. So I am going to fill these two columns today. I am going to fill these two columns today in my next 1 hour session. Okay, whatever the time we have till 7, I am going to fill these two gaps, this one, this box and this box. That what are those techniques? So I am going to cover the discriminant and cross tabulation. You can see here, whenever you have the dependent variable, your non-metric, and your independent variable is metric. Metric means ratio or interval type of data, and your dependent variable is non-metric, like which is categorical data. Okay, levels in the type of levels, then we can go for the discriminant analysis. Okay, but when your independent variable is non-metric and your dependent variable is also non-metric, like we have the gender and the color of choice. Suppose I am a manufacturing company, I am a Maruti owner, and say I'm just like creating a hypothetical example for you. Suppose I am doing a research on the cosmetics and my target respondent is women, and I am going to study the association between the color of the color of the, you can say, lipstick, and the age of the woman. So it's simple. It's very common sense that you have the two. Your independent variable is also non-metric. That is the color of the color of the lipstick. That is the pink, maroon, or you can say any color you can take it. Okay, and the your dependent variable is also non-metric because you have the age category. Okay, category means age category. So both, whenever you have the two variables, like your independent variable and dependent variable, when both the variables are categorical, then you have the test which you can apply, which is called a king of the test, that is called the cross tabulation, or or in other way you can also call it chi-square test. Okay, you can go for chi-square test. So I'm going to cover these two. One, discriminant analysis is a technique, and cross tabulation and chi-square is the test. Okay, again it is a non-parametric test. Non-parametric means ab yahan pe there is no need to have the check the normality. You are not supposed to check the normality because your data is categorical. Your data is categorical. So in the categorical data, I have already taught you also that you need not to check the normality of the data. So now let us take an example. I'll take it. I always take your test in the beginning. So again, I have created a one example for you. During COVID-19, suppose Dr. Parampreet Kaur has given the project to the students. Okay, you conduct a survey, you conduct a study to measure the effect of 3 online educational apps. One is Byju's, second is Vedantu, and third is the Extra Marks. You know, these are the popular apps. Your kids might be taking these services from these apps also, maybe. So suppose Dr. Parampreet has given this project to the students, and these students are divided into 3 groups. Okay, and each group is exposed to a particular app. Particular app means Byju's, Vedantu, and Extra Marks. So after 3 months, Dr. Parampreet ma'am has been conducting the internal exams, and she is going to evaluate whether the marks are same or not among the 3 groups. Can you please tell me that in this case, which of the test you would apply? Independent sample t-test, one sample t-test, one-way ANOVA, or all of the above? Please write in the chat box. Very good, very good. Amandeep, please write down the spelling. It is not ANNOVA, it is ANOVA, ANOVA. Okay, generally in the thesis also, student, they sometimes, you know, in the emotions, they make it wrong, ANNOVA. It is ANOVA, ANOVA. Okay, so the right answer, Dr. Kuldeep, it is not all of the above. The right answer is one-way ANOVA, because we have the three, more than two categories. That is the category of groups. Okay, that is the, and more than three categories of apps, two categories of apps, that is Byju's, Vedantu, and extra marks. Okay, so this is, I think, clear to you. Can you please write in the chat box yes or no? Once it is clear, then I would move ahead. Okay, now next I am going to again ask you one question. Say if the p-value of Levine's test, if the p-value of Levine's test appears as 0.562, 0.562. So you are a researcher, and suppose the student asks you, okay, ma'am, my p-value of Levine test is 0.562. So what should I infer? What should I infer? That either equal variance is not assumed, equal variance is assumed, or data is not fit for two sample test, or none of the above. Can you please write down the answer? Very good, very good. Ambika, Amandeep, you are absolutely right. It means that equal variance is assumed, because you already know that in the test, when you conduct the Levine's test, if the p-value is greater than 0.05, then the null hypothesis, you know, you can say accepted, and we accept the null hypothesis, and the null hypothesis is that there is equal variance. Okay, equal variance is assumed. Nice. So one thing, once it is clear to you, now I'm going to go with the chi-square test. Okay. Today I will go slow because I have the time to, and it's not a much lengthy part, so you can do it. And I hope I am sharing the papers also, good papers also, every day from Emerald. Okay, so you can understand that technique is not important. Technique is important. Tool is important. Software, you can, you know, industries are bringing new and new software. Today I was taking today I was learning one software, that was the Tableau. Tableau is a visualization software, okay, which is industries are expecting, industries are demanding. Okay, so it is important that you should know the reason of that, why I am applying this technique, why I am using this test. Okay, whether you use SPSS, whether you use R programming, whether you use Python, whether you use you know, SPSS modeler, whether you use SPSS basic, so result would remain the same. Okay, it is important that as a researcher you should know that in which of the objective, which of the technique or tool would be used. For example, if I am using CFA, confirmatory factor analysis, so in the confirmatory factor analysis, you know that you will go for the SEM. Okay, you will go for some advanced statistical techniques if you are really going to go for the confirmatory factor analysis. But if your objective is explore the factors, exploring the factors, then you can go for the exploratory factor analysis, which is called the factor analysis. Okay, so according to your objective, you should know that which technique or which tool or which technique or which test will you apply. Okay, now next, for example, I have taken some research question. Let's say I give a one project to my student. Okay, do a study and design a questionnaire and take the response. Okay, do you think that corona is affecting more males or females? Can you please tell me that which of the tests we can go for in this particular research question? You should know as a researcher, please, whenever you are writing in the thesis, you must mention your research question, research objectives, and research hypothesis. Okay, these things are very important to mention in your research paper or in your thesis also. So do you think corona is affecting male than female? So which test is appropriate? Which test is appropriate and why? Which test is appropriate and why? I knew that sabhi independent sample t-test hi likhenge. I knew that, but you are absolutely wrong. You people are absolutely wrong, because corona means the type of corona. I am taking the type of corona. Corona is, you know, there are different types of corona. We have, I think if you see, do it, it is a very high risk corona and low risk corona. There are two types of, type of corona is there in the, in real sense, some are having very high corona type and some are having low type of corona, and whether it is affecting male or female. So we have the two variables and both the variables are categorical here. Both the variables are categorical here. So here we can go for the, which test we will apply? Not Amandeep, we are not going to apply ANOVA. We are going to go for chi-square test. Please try to understand, because here we have the type of corona. Please note down, we have the type of corona and we have the gender. I'm writing in the chat box also so that you could people understand that what I'm writing. Type of corona and gender. Gender is also categorical and type of corona is also categorical. So obviously my study is to study the association between the corona, type of corona and the gender. So here I am going to go for chi-square test. Is it clear to you? Please, you can mention in the chat box that yes, it is clear to you, right? That it is the case of not clear. Dr. Kuldeep, please try to understand when we are going to apply the chi-square test, as I mentioned you, as I have shown you here, that in the chi-square test, our independent variable is non-metric and our dependent variable is also non-metric. Non-metric means categorical. Okay, non-metric means ordinal and categorical. So here we have the cross tabulation or chi-square test. And if you look at this research question, in this research question, I'm going to conduct the study to study the association, association between the corona, type of corona and gender. So gender is categorical and corona is also categorical, the type of corona. So here I have the two variables and both are categorical. Then I will go for chi-square test. I'll go for chi-square test. Okay. Then we have is the, do you think low immunity or high immunity people have high or low risk of corona? Again, two categories, high, low immunity and high immunity. Okay, and high risk and low risk. So both are categorical, both are nominal data. So in simple sense, you as a researcher understand like this way, that whenever your independent variable is nominal data and your dependent variable is nominal data, and you are going to study the association between these two variables, then you will go for chi-square test. You will go for chi-square test. Okay, right. Absolutely right, Amandeep. It's okay, I have number of examples. Don't worry, who is asking that give one more examples. I have brought a lot of examples in the coming slide. Don't worry. Just to try to understand, I'll give you more examples. So first of all, one thing is very clear, that first condition is that it is applied on categorical data. It is applied on categorical data. Okay, the data must be categorical. Categorical means nominal data. Okay, the data should not be continuous, means it is not applied on continuous data like height of the student, weight of the student, marks of the student. And moreover, you have to classify into a different categories. Categories means like age, gender, location, residence, like that way. Okay, and more importantly, it is applied on counts and frequency. When you will apply the cross tabulation chi-square test, you will get the counts and frequency. You have the two important thing in the chi-square test. One is the observed data and one is the expected data. Observed data is already, which is in the form of counts, and expected data you count, you calculate or you compute with the help of the formula, or you compute with the help of the software. Okay, so for example, just I have given an example of like COVID is independent of gender immune categories. Like there is there is a strong association between, or there is no significant association between the COVID type and the gender. Okay, so this is the type of question, these are the type of objectives where we can go for the chi-square test. Now, So one thing is clear to you now that chi-square is also called, chi-square test is also called the test of association. It is also called the test of association. Why it is called the test of association? Because this test is used to ascertain whether one categorical variable is dependent on another or not. Simply, this test is used to ascertain whether one categorical variable is dependent on another or not. For example, I took the example of the color of cosmetics and the age of women. Okay, whether there is any association between the age of the woman or the color of the lipstick, color of the cosmetic lipsticks. So that is what I am taking an example of, a marketing example, or whether there is an association between the, you can say, the type of cold drink and the gender. So gender means type of cold drink, means you can say Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or Mazza, for example. And the gender type means, let's say, males and females. So here you also can go for the chi-square test. So I have taken few more examples. The participant who is asking me, okay, sir, please give me few more examples. So I took some education examples also. Like in the case of education, you can apply whether the CGPA matlab percent, the score of these, the CGPA of the student in terms of high, low, and average. Okay, not in the metric scale. I am taking this CGPA in the categorical, that is high CGPA, low CGPA, or average CGPA. That depends on the specific gender of student. Okay, then the second example could be salary package. Like I am taking the example of the HR, say salary package, that is high or low package of employees depends on the years of experience, that is less number of years or more number of years. So you can see that in these 2-3 examples, you have the both the variables, that is independent variable and dependent variable, both are categorical. We are not having any data which is metric data. And in case of marketing example in marketing research, selecting a brand of deo, like there are different brands of deo A, deo brand B, deo brand C. Whether this brand of deodorant depends on the customer gender, that is male or female. So when you are going to study the association between, say for example, I am a perfume company. Say, देखो मैं आपको एक छोटी सी example अभी बना के दिखाता हूँ. मान लो मैं एक परफ्यूम कंपनी में मार्केटिंग मैनेजर हूँ, और my management is in the decision to launch a new fragrance, you can say launch a, you can say perfume brand in the market. Okay, and the marketeers, they are interested to know that which type of fragrance would appeal more to the genders. Like males, they have a different kind of appeal for the fragrance of the deo, and female would likely to have a different kind of choice of fragrance of deo. So here when I'm going to determine the association between the brand of deo or the flavor or the fragrance of deo, depends upon the gender type, then we can go for the chi-square test. Can you please write in the chat box that are these examples convenient to you, make you understand the relevance of chi-square test and what is the application of chi-square test? Can you please write in the chat box? Is that clear to you now? Okay, yes. So it's a very beautiful, technique. It is very beautiful test which you can apply. It is one of the very, good test which you can take so many decisions based on this test. Please try to understand these tests are not only meant for the thesis writing, or these tests are meant for only research papers. These tests are actually facilitate the managers to take the decision. For example, suppose I am a marketing management manager in a smartphone company, and I would likely to see whether the color of the smartphone, there are different colors of the smartphone. White color is also there of a smartphone, and gray color and black color. And I am going to study the association between the color of the smartphone and the gender type. Depends on the customer gender type. So here also I can go for the chi-square test. Okay. Now I think these are sufficient examples so that Now you could understand that what is the application of chi-square test. And chi-square test is also called two-way contingency analysis. Please note down, it is also called two-way contingency analysis uh, because we have certain rows and columns, and from the rows and columns we are going to determine, like we have the rows and columns, the problem is in the form of rows and columns, and we are going to calculate the expected frequency by using the formula that is called the row total multiplied by column total divided by the grand total. This is the manual calculation which we do in the statistics also, and those participants who have already studied this in the stats also, they know that how we can compute the expected frequency by using the row total multiplied by column total divided by the grand total. I am putting the cursor also so that you can come to know what is row total, the first row total into a column total and divided by the grand total. So this is a formula which we can apply for in order to compute the value of chi-square. We apply the formula, and the formula is observed minus expected divided by expected, observed minus expected whole square and summation, and divided by expected. That is the formula of the chi-square test. And in the chi-square test, the degree of freedom to vary, degree of freedom is n minus 1 into m minus 1. N means your columns and m means your rows. Okay, so n minus 1 into m minus 1 is your degree of freedom. Now we are going to look for the assumption. Okay, whenever we are going to go for the execution of the chi-square test, I would be looking for certain assumptions. Okay, I will not apply this chi-square test straight away by looking at the variables, but first I will look at certain assumptions. That number one is it is a non-parametric test, and no requirement of the data to be normally distributed because it is a categorical. So there is nothing to worry about the normality, because even if the violation of normality is not required. And two variables, independent and your dependent variable, must be nominal scale. It must be measured on a nominal means you are categorical in nature, and you are going to measure the observed frequency of variables, and the result would you be taking based on the difference between the observed and expected frequencies. Like for example, I have taken one research survey of a car company. Let's say your project is, your research topic is, let's say, customer perception or customer preference or customer behavior, customer likings towards the cars. Okay, so let's say one car dealer, and that car dealer wants to ascertain whether the choice of color for a car by the customer depends upon the age group of customer. You know, when you go to buy a car, जब भी आप गाड़ी खरीदने जाते हो, तो what you would look for? You look for the color of the car, whether you are going to buy the red car color, white color car, or the black color car. And you know, the customers have a different choices. Some of the customers, they like black cars, some of the customers, they look for the red car, but generally Indian families, they go for, you know, white color cars. And we have the different color categories like bright color, gentle color, and very different. So the automobile companies here is interested to know whether the you know, the color of the car choice, or the color choice has the dependence on, or is independent of gender type, is independent of the customer category. So in this particular type of problem, you know, it is very much clear that you will go for the chi-square test. So here the question is that apply suitable technique. So which of the suitable technique will you go for? Definitely you will go for the chi-square test, because you are going to ascertain the association between the color of the choice of the color, and the you know, type of the customer category, that is young, middle age, and the older categories. Okay, so one thing is very clear to you. First, understand the problem. As a researcher, सबसे पहले आपको problem को understand करना है. What is to understand? That how many variables? We have two variables. One is color and another is the age. And then you have the category of variables. You have the three categories for color and three categories for the age group. Okay. And scale measurement, which we have discussed on the very first day, that if in your questionnaire, आप समझो इस बात को, you understand like this way, if in your questionnaire more is your categorical or nominal data is there, then you cannot go for the parametric test, and you only have the options to go for the non-parametric test. And since chi-square test is a very popular non-parametric test, and it is a king of non-parametric tests, so observed frequency, as I already told you, it is already given in the data set. And here you are going to examine whether the choice of color depends upon the specific age of customers. Now look at the slides. Okay, I'm showing you these slides so that in the online mode I make it easy to use, so that when you do a practice, so you will come to know, okay, this is the variable view, and here I'm going to select the values labels, and here I'm going to select the value labels, and my data entry would be like this way in the SPSS. Like the first variable is the color of the car, and the second variable is the age customer. One here means the label, one means the coding, one means it may be a bright color, two means the another color, and the third means another color. And the age customer is the first, like the first respondent. Please try to understand the data first. This first respondent is having the color choice of 1. He is mentioned in your questionnaire. He selected 1, and his age of the customer is also 1 coding. Okay, this is the coding when you do a coding. Okay, and the second respondent is choosing the second color, and the age customer is the second coding. Second coding means second is your this is middle age. 1 means young, 2 means middle age, 3 means older category. Similarly, in the color of the choice, 1 means bright, 2 means gentle, and 3 means very bright. Okay, very different, sorry. Now, once, can you please write in the chat box that are you with me, people? Are you with me, researchers? Are you with me? Can you please? Okay. I want that you, yeah, okay, good. All right. Okay, thank you. So, what are the steps? The steps for conducting chi-square test in SPSS, I think these small screenshots would make you very, very meaningful when you will do actually practice. Okay, these snapshots will help you. Okay, are you at the same screen? Are you not going to use a wrong screen? So what you will go to analyze, and in the analyze there is written over descriptive statistics. In the descriptive statistics we have the cross tab. Okay, click on the cross tab and then select the rows and columns. Row means your color and column means age, and then you are going to select these cross tab statistics. In the cross tab statistics you will select the chi-square, okay, because obviously you are applying chi-square test. And then you are also going to study the relationship, the strength of relationship between the two categorical variables. For that we are going to select the phi and Kramer's V. Phi and Kramer's V, okay, method. You will tick on this and choose, and then you are going to show the descriptive also. Obviously, as I mentioned, you can always show the descriptive statistics, okay, even in your thesis or even your research paper, where you are going to show the observed and expected, your row percentages, column percentages, and the total. And then you will click on the continue. Okay, so I hope these screenshots are meaningful to you, because it will help you that how the test is being conducted. So whenever you are going to execute this command, execute this process which I just mentioned you, my dear participants, you will get first table output, which is called the cross tabulation output. Okay, and this table output is also called contingency analysis table, right? So you are going to cross, this is the association. Cross tabulation means which signifies the association between the color of the car and the age. Like for example, from this statistics, I would come to know that 10 people, young people, they prefer which car, which color of the car? Bright. Whereas there is no number of middle-aged customer, there is no middle-aged customer, and the one older customer means there is one older customer who likely to choice the car which is which color, bright color. So अब देखो ना, अब आपको क्रिएटिविटी खुद को आपको ये डिसाइड करना है. यू हैव टू बी क्रिएटिव कि यू कैन रेप्लिकेट दिस एग्जांपल इन द कॉस्मेटिक इंडस्ट्री, यू कैन रेप्लिकेट दिस एग्जांपल इन द सॉफ्टवेयर इंडस्ट्री, यू कैन रेप्लिकेट दिस एग्जांपल इन द say for example the for example saloon industry. Even beauty salon industry could I could also go for, like, you know, there are different types of facials. Okay, you have the different types of facials and you have the different types of age category, and you are going to study the association. Okay, so be creative. You know, research is a creative process. You need to be creative to apply the test and technique in the industry. Okay, because your research should be meaningful for the industry, your research should be meaningful for the society. Okay, so now this table is clear to you. Please, can you please write in the chat box yes or no? This cross tabulation, and sometimes it becomes a complex cross table also when you have a multiple variables. But here we have, right now we have the young, middle age and older, and the color of the color of the car. Okay, thank you. Then in the next slide, I am showing you the output of chi-square test. Okay, when you executed the chi-square test, then you will get this table also, this statistics also. Okay, this statistics will showing you the value of Pearson chi-square. आपको decision किससे लेना है? You are supposed to take the decision from the Pearson chi-square, and the 0.027 is, you know, 0.02 is Madhuri Corlipara expected count. We compute with the formula with the, that is called the row total multiplied by column total divided by the grand total. Okay, this is the formula which we apply in order to calculate the compute the expected count from the observed count. Okay, so the null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, you know, this is an hypothesis test, non-parametric hypothesis test. So we are going to frame the null hypothesis. What is the null hypothesis? The null hypothesis is that there is no significant association between the color of the car and the age group of the customer. Please write down like this way. There is no significant association, I'm repeating again, between the color of the car and the specific age group of the customer. Or you can write like this way, that color of the choice is independent of specific age group of customers in the null hypothesis, in which is denoted by H naught, and in the alternate hypothesis, sorry, this is a typographic mistake, it is H1, please. Okay, don't take it as H naught, it is H1. Okay, it is a typing mistake. So H1 would be the color of choice is dependent of specific age group of customers. Okay, is this clear to you? This slide is clear to you? So once it is clear to you, now you are going to report the findings. Report kaise karna hai aapko? Whatever the result has come, how will you report it? You will report like this way, कि as p value associated with this chi-square test is less than 5% level of significance, that is chi-square value is 10.9. You can see here 10.9 value of Pearson chi-square, and the p value is less than 0.05, which is 0.02, sorry, you can see here 0.02. So what it means that you will reject the null hypothesis, because you know the mantra that when your p is low, reject the whole, when p is high, accept the whole. When you are rejecting, when in this particular problem you are rejecting the null hypothesis, it means that when you are rejecting the null hypothesis, it means that the color of choice is dependent of the specific age of group of the customer. It means there is a significant association between the color of the choice of car and the age group of the customer. Is it clear to you? Can you please write in the chat box that yes, is it clear to you? Yes. Okay. Now next we are going to also, as when we were selecting the options, so we had also selected one of the option which was the pi and Kramer's. Pi and Kramer's actually shows the strength of relationship. And here the value is 0.60. When it is greater than 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, close to 1, close to 1, it signifies that it has a strong, it indicates a strong relationship between these two nominal based variable, which is the color of choice and the, the type of the customer. Okay. So that is the relevance of chi-square test, and came to know that chi-square is a non-parametric test. So there is no assumption of normality. Okay, so normality is only required in the parametric test, which we studied in the last 2 days, that is the one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, and ANOVA. Okay, now, once it is clear to you, now I am going to give you one demonstration. I will also likely to give you the demonstration through SPSS so that you can do a practice at you yourself also. So now let me share the screen with you. Just a moment. Stop share. Just a moment. Okay, I have one question to you. Can anybody tell me that what is the difference between independent variable and dependent variable? Very simple question. What is the difference between dependent variable and independent variable? Please write in the chat box. What is the difference between dependent variable and independent variable? Just a wait, just a moment. Just a moment. I'll. Okay. Now let us, I'm sharing. Let me, give me a time to share the files. Okay. Right. So I hope the screen is visible. Please, can anybody tell me that yes, the screen is visible to you? Please write in the chat box, yes or no. Yes, okay. So I will share this data set with you. I will give you one data set complete on the last day tomorrow, where you can apply these all types of techniques and tests together. Okay, for your practice, I will definitely share with you, and I will definitely share you with my number also, so that you can contact me, or you, if you have any query, you can talk to me. Okay, so I'm opening a data. I'm opening the data, and this data I have taken in the downloads file. Let me take the data of color choice. Let's see, this is my one of the survey which I have conducted. And in the survey, how many respondents are there? Can anybody tell me that how many respondents are there in this study? There are 30 respondents. 30 respondents from whom I have gathered the data about the color of the car and the age of the customer. You can look at from the, you can decode from here that the value labels also you can check from here. Means one means bright color, two means gentle color, and three means very bright, very different. And the age of customer means one means your age, two means middle age, three means young. So first of all, please note down whenever you are going to apply the chi-square test, you please note down your measure should be variable, and you must define the values. Like I have defined the values, like one means bright, two means gentle, three means very different. Okay, similarly, not visible. Is the screen visible or not? Come on, how is it possible? Is the screen visible? Not visible. एक minute. Okay. Just give me a 1 moment of time. Yes, now, is it visible? Okay, yes, it is visible. Thank you, Dr. Jaspreet. Thank you, Dr. Pawan. All right. So you can see here. So you should know that whenever you are going to a data entry, this is called the data entry, which I taught you in the very first day. That how you second day, that how you do the data entry. So whenever you are going to doing the data entry, you know that you are going to study the association between the color of the car and the age of the customer. And obviously I have taken from any questionnaire this variable color of the car and the age of the customer, and these are categorical. So obviously I have to define the values. Means color means 1 means bright, 2 means gentle, 3 means very different. And also measure would be nominal because it is a categorical data. And then you can see in the data view, you can see these variables. Okay, 1 means bright, 2 means gentle, and 3 you can check from this uh, icon also. You can just labeling part, and the coding part you can check from here. Now what is the process? The process is very simple. Go to analyze, please note down the steps. Go to analyze, click on the, now don't click on compare means, because these we have already done it. Okay, compare means is a parametric test. So we are going to go in the descriptive statistics. In the descriptive statistics, you have here one, it is written over cross tab, cross tabulation, cross tab. So click on the cross tab. And when you click on the cross tab, so you will pick the color in the row and age in the column. And then you will click on the one by one, you can select the appropriate, statistics. So in the statistics, I am going to apply the chi-square. So I will definitely choose this chi-square option. And then I'm going to see the strength of relationship between these two nominal variables. So I'm going to click on the pi and Kramer's V. Pi is given by Carl Pearson. So that's why it's called pi, P-H-I. So this I have selected in the option, and then I am going to click on continue. Okay. Then I look for the cells. In the cells, I would likely to go for observed and expected. देखो अगर हम मैनुअली कैलकुलेट करें तो यू नो द फार्मूला दैट इज द रो टोटल इनटू कॉलम टोटल डिवाइडेड बाय ग्रैंड टोटल, बट सॉफ्टवेयर ने तो अपने आप यू नो इट विल कंप्यूट द एक्सपेक्टेड काउंट्स. So you need not to worry, and then you need a percentages of row and column and total so that you can take more appropriate decisions. Okay, for the product, you can say availability, प्रोडक्ट विजिबिलिटी. देखो मैं इस प्रोडक्ट को, आप ये समझो कि यार इस स्टैटिस्टिक्स से मैं कितना ज्यादा मैनेजरियल डिसीजन ले सकता हूँ. मैं अपने रिटेल स्टोर में अपने सर्वेंट्स को या अपने जो भी एम्प्लॉइज हैं उनको मैं ये कहूंगा कि मेक द विजिबिलिटी ऑफ द रेड कलर कार इन फ्रंट, because from the survey I came to know that people are more preferring red color car or white color car. So obviously as a car dealer, suppose if I am a owner of a car dealer, I am having a car dealer company. So you think that how am I applying the chi-square test for the decision making? I would definitely showcase the white cars or red cars in front of the demonstration, in front of the display, because I know that most of the customers which is coming to my car dealer, to my dealer place, they are more young, and young people, they look for the bright color cars. So obviously I would likely to showcase the bright color cars in the visibility. And similarly you can also apply the same example in the retail store, that if I know that the choice of Patanjali, there are different categories of butters. For example, Verka is there, Amul is there, or let's say Mother Dairy is there, and I am going to see the choice of Amul, Verka, or you can say the Mother Dairy with the you can say the age category, with the age category, okay, or with the income category. Okay, then obviously these are meaningful insights through which I can take the decisions. Okay, am I right or wrong? Can you please write in the chat box? Would you agree with me the application of the chi-square test in the managerial decision making? Can you please write in the chat box yes or no? This particular thing is meant for the MBA students or the students who are doing MCOM or the students who are doing capstone project. Please, this example is maybe not be meaningful for the researchers who are doing PhD in the social research. Entrepreneurship, I can also apply chi-square test in the entrepreneurial studies when I have a different types of entrepreneurs and I'm going to study the association between the type of entrepreneur with the gender or type of entrepreneur with the age category. So means you need to be very, very, I mean, you need to see all these, aspects while going for the chi-square test. Now, statistics is clear to you, cells is clear to you, format, okay, no need, and style, you need not to, nothing to do. Just now, what you are going to do, just click on OK. Once you click on OK, your output has come. Okay, now I am going to show the output. Let me show you the output also. Well, this is the output. I hope the output is visible to you. Can you please, just somebody can write in the chat box so that I'm confident that, okay, yes, you are looking for the, now, ab ye sari report kar do, you just copy it and paste it on the research paper, you copy and paste it on the thesis, you copy and paste it on your any project. Okay, so this is a case processing summary. Case processing summary का मतलब simply क्या होता है कि डाटा में कोई missing value तो नहीं है, is there is no missing value simply. So this is the determination of, you can determine from the case processing summary. And then you have the color with the age of the customer, cross tabulation. So you are coming to know that bright color people, young people, they look for bright color. Middle-aged customer, they don't prefer bright color. So this is zero, means no customer, middle-aged customer is there who go for bright color, and one older means very less. More importantly, there is a strong association between the bright color and the young customer type. Okay, this I can infer, this I can describe, this I can describe from this cross tabulation table. Okay, and this is the chi-square test. Chi-square test, this table is very important, where I'm coming to know that the Pearson chi-square value is 10.9 and the p-value is 0.02, which is less than 0.05. So it means that it is significant, and what we can say is the null hypothesis rejected, and we will accept the alternate hypothesis. So we can say that there is a strong association, there is a significant, not right strong, there is significant association between the color of the choice of the color and the age of the customer. Okay, so this will be the report you will going to put in your research paper or anywhere you would likely to add. And at the last, you are going to also mention the pi value and the Kramer value. This will tell you the strength of the relationship between the nominal values, and it is, when it is closer to 1, it means the strong relationship. When it is 0.5, it means moderate relationship. When it is less than 0.5, then we can call it as a weak relationship. So this is how you are going to you will tell the you can say to with the you can say, you can report. All right. Significance means Parul, significance decision you take from the value of that is p value. Okay, from the p value you take the significance value. Okay, 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 you are asking that 10.9 value at a, this is something which is you are getting. Just a moment. Yes, you can take the pi value. Pi value. Yes, Dr. Jasprit, you can take from the pi value. Let me just wait a moment. I am not. Yes. Well, okay. So this A means, please try to understand this Pearson 10.943A. A means, when it is written A, what it means that A value means 7 cells have expected count less than 5. Okay. less than 5 degree of freedom, that is the n minus 1 into m minus 1, m minus 1. Okay, so the minimum expected count is 0.83. This Pearson chi-square value, it is basically in the Pearson chi-square value, you are going to take the decision on the rejection of the hypothesis or the acceptance of the hypothesis from the 0.027 this, but you have to code this. You can write in the report, I mean in your report writing, or when you are going to report in the analysis. Okay, otherwise also you can, even more important is that you just mention in the case of chi-square Pearson, you mention the 0.02. This is the value of p value. That is more important for in order to take the decision to reject or accept the null hypothesis. This is the calculated value. This is the algorithm that calculated the value of pi Pearson chi-square, that is 10.943a. Similarly, you have the likelihood ratio or the linear by linear association. But more importantly, you should quote or you should write the Pearson chi-square value. I will let you know tomorrow these queries also, more importantly, because in the chi-square yeah, it should not be less than 5. Yes, it should not be less than 5. Then let us come to just a moment. Okay, once it is clear to you, the chi-square test, that how to compute and how to execute and how to infer the results, and particularly in which of the categorical variable you are going to apply the chi-square test. Now, next is I'm going to cover the discriminant analysis. Okay. So basically, discriminant analysis, we have a time. It is 6:34. Okay. Can we go for discriminant analysis? Factor analysis tomorrow. Tomorrow we will do factor analysis for sure. And please try to understand. I will definitely suggest you, okay, you pick up one good research methodology book, and I would recommend you the book of Naresh Malhotra of Marketing Research. That is very good book. Or Andy Field, that is very, and these books are e-books are available nowadays. Okay, and you can also go for the good statistics books, where you can have more and more clarity, more and more, the you can say learning, okay, through which you can understand the you can say glitch of the research. Okay. Now, next, what is Rosie's hand? Please write, sir. Okay. Okay. I'll write Naresh Malhotra. Naresh Malhotra. It's very. I love this book. It's one of the very good book of marketing research. Okay. Those. Okay, and you can also go for Andy Field. I'll give you one folder. Definitely tomorrow there are certain good ebooks are there, and I will give you that folder surely. Okay, I will share that resource with you. And all these queries like likelihood, or these queries like you are asking for these some small things. Okay, so you'll come to know. Okay, because in these statistically you are going to report only the Kramer's value, pi and Kramer's value. You are going to report the Pearson's chi-square value. And good journal names. Okay, definitely in the last tomorrow 15 to 20 minutes I'll spend on the good research papers and good research journals for sure. Now let us cover the discriminant analysis. Discriminant analysis is also very good technique, very good technique, and it is a multivariate technique, and it is one of the best technique, and I applied in one of the paper research paper, and it got published. Even my PhD student, Dr. Harpreet, she did a study on the MSMEs of e-commerce adoption. She applied the discriminant analysis to classify the MSMEs, to classify the groups of, you know, the customer here means the MSMEs, that is the highly adopters or low adopters. So we have classified. So discriminant means classification. Simply discriminant analysis means classification. Is my screen visible to you? Please tell me. Is the screen visible? Yes, no? Okay. Right. So we are going to cover the discriminant analysis. So it is basically a technique, very robust technique for analyzing the data when your dependent variable is categorical. Please, one way ANOVA की जो characteristics हैं, अगर हम उसको उल्टा दें, when we reverse the characteristics of one way ANOVA, क्योंकि one way ANOVA में क्या मैंने बताया था आपको कि your dependent variable is metric and your independent variable is non-metric. Do you agree with me or not? Please write in the chat box yes or no. In one way ANOVA, we discussed that I have told you that the dependent variable is metric and independent variable is non-metric. Do you agree with me in the one way ANOVA? Yes or no? Please write in the chat box. Yes. So Ashu, when you reverse it, when you reverse the characteristics, means when your independent variable, is metric and your dependent variable is non-metric, then we can go for discriminant analysis. बड़ा सिंपल है याद रखने का तरीका कि अगर तो आपका इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल नॉन मेट्रिक है और डिपेंडेंट मेट्रिक है तो गो फॉर वन वे ANOVA. अगर आपका इंडिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल मेट्रिक है और डिपेंडेंट वेरिएबल अगर आपका नॉन मेट्रिक है, लाइक यू आर गोइंग टू क्लासिफाई इन द डिस्क्रीट लाइक 0 and 1, so you can also go for logistic regression also. Logistic regression you can also apply when you have the dependent variable in the discrete output, like in the form of yes or no, 0 and 1. But the discriminant analysis is more robust than the logistic regression because it includes more than two categories. Like in case of e-commerce adoption, say I'm going to classify the MSMEs on the basis of e-commerce adoption, like the highly adopters, you can say the middle adopters or the late adopters, for example. Okay, so in this particular type of analysis, we can go for the discriminant analysis. Okay, and when the dependent variable has two categories, okay, you can go for the it is also called two group discriminant analysis. So one thing is very clear to you, that where do we apply discriminant analysis? When we are going to classify the dependent variable, and this dependent variable is categorical in nature, like high and low, okay, quick and fast. I will give a wonderful example also in the coming slides. Don't worry, you will come to know where you can go for the discriminant analysis. So I'll be taking it a very short. You can have this elaborative PPT to understand. Basically, in the discriminant analysis, you are going to classify the significant, classification between the groups, between the cases, among the cases, based on a certain score, and that score is the average score profile based on a method which is called the priori method we use in the SPSS. So what is the application of discriminant analysis in marketing? Let's say you are a marketing professor and you are teaching this discriminant analysis to the researchers. So if a researcher asks you, okay, sir, what is the application of discriminant analysis in marketing? How the researchers can help the industry? So first of all, suppose you are having a store and you would likely to examine whether your customer is highly loyal, whether your customer is not loyal. Your customer is loyal to your shop or your customer is not loyal to the store. Generally in the thesis of retail जो students जिनका topic retail stores का लिए होता है या retail पे studies जो करते हैं, they have a very good thing. I think they can go for this discriminant analysis. Like for example, do heavy, medium and light users of soft drinks differs in the terms of the consumption of frozen foods, okay, or the or we can say the. So here we can see that you have the dependent variable, that is the categorical, and independent variable is the, you can say the metric data. Metric means ratio type of data or interval type of data. देखो बार बार देखो कितने भी टेक्निक्स टूल्स हमने पढ़ लिए पिछले 4-5 दिनों में, लेकिन हमारा फंडामेंटल बेस वही है, दैट इज द नॉमिनल स्केल, ऑर्डिनल स्केल, इंटरवल स्केल और रेशियो स्केल और लिकर्ट स्केल. मतलब इनके बिना हमारा गुजारा नहीं है. वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू थिंक ahead, you know, without understanding the scale, okay. And similarly, you should know the difference between, you know, ANOVA and the discriminant. In case of ANOVA, the similarity between ANOVA and discriminant is that the dependent variable is one, and similarly in case of discriminant analysis also we have the one dependent variable. And independent variable in case of ANOVA, we have more than 2 categories was there in the ANOVA. Similarly, we have in case of the multiple independent variables in the discriminant analysis. But the most important is the difference. The difference is that in case of ANOVA, your dependent variable is metric, but in case of discriminant analysis, your dependent variable is categorical. Your dependent variable is non-metric. Whereas in case of independent variable, in ANOVA it was categorical as we discussed yesterday, but in the discriminant analysis your independent variable is metric, that is the ratio type of data or the you can say the interval type of data. For example, मैंने अपने स्टूडेंट्स को एक प्रोजेक्ट करवाया है. उस प्रोजेक्ट में मैंने बच्चों को बोला कि आप ना एक स्टडी करो HDFC बैंक पे, और HDFC बैंक का डेटा आप कलेक्ट करो, एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द सर्वे, ऑन द बेस यू कलेक्ट द डेटा फ्रॉम द कस्टमर. कस्टमर से क्या पूछोगे आप? मान लो मैं क्रेडिट कार्ड का सर्वे कर रहा हूँ, आई एम गेटिंग द कंडक्टिंग द सर्वे ऑफ द क्रेडिट कार्ड, तो मैं कस्टमर से क्या पूछूंगा, यानी मेरे रिस्पोंडेंट से मैं क्या पूछूंगा? आई विल कम टू नो अबाउट हिज एज, इनकम, जेंडर, और आई विल आस्क हिम अबाउट हिज CIBIL score. I will ask his year since marriage. I will ask from him the income. Obviously, na, these are my important. Can you please write in the chat so that I would come to know that you are with me, so that I would be confident that you people are with me. Okay, please write in the chat. Just 1 or 2 participants. Okay, so what is there? You can, you know, income, CIBIL score, age, gender, these would definitely, you will seek the observations from the survey. And once you do it, so मान लीजिए मेरा एक सर्वे है, मैंने HDFC बैंक का सर्वे करवाया और मैं अब क्लासीफाई करना चाहता हूं. आई एम गोइंग टू सिग्निफिकेंटली क्लासीफाई द रिस्पोंडेंट और द कस्टमर बिटवीन द लो रिस्क कस्टमर और द हाई रिस्क कस्टमर. मतलब बैंक क्या करेगा? बैंक विल टेक द डिसीजन दैट वेदर द क्रेडिट कार्ड शुड बी इशूड और not. Obviously, what will be the relevance of this discriminant analysis? The relevance for the bank manager that from the output from this analysis, the bank manager would be in a position to take the decision that whether the credit card should be issued to the low risk customer or the high risk customer. So actually you are predicting, you are actually classifying, you are actually summarizing, you are actually what we can call it is the classifying, summarizing, predicting, okay, whether your customer is high risk customer or the low risk customer. Similarly, as like my PhD student Dr. Harpreet, she has applied the discriminant analysis to differentiate whether the MSMEs, a particular MSMEs is having a high you can say e-commerce adoption or the low e-commerce adoption. You are going to categorize, you are going to classify. So this technique is also called classification. This technique is also called you can say the prediction technique. So now what we are going to do, you are going to take certain data. Obviously पहले आपको data चाहिए, और data में obviously you need certain variables like age, income, gender, or whatever the CIBIL score, income, obviously, and you are going to relatively discriminating between the low risk applicants, the high risk applicants. So what I'm trying to make you understand here, that first of all you will open the SPSS, feed the data entry करोगे आप. data entry करने के बाद में आप क्या करोगे? You will go to analyze. In the analyze you will have the in the discriminant analysis, which I will show you in the SPSS, and then you will clip the grouping variables and your independent variables, and then you will select the this one. All these options you will choose. First, in the statistics, please note down. In the statistics, you will choose univariate ANOVA. From the ANOVA, you will come to know the significant, that is the significance, and you will also come to know the then you will also check the box M. From the box M, you will come to know this box M is used to check the what we can call the variance, because the assumption of discriminant analysis also there, that the equality of variance. Okay, and from the box M we can check the within group covariance. Okay, and then we are going to select the coefficients, because we are going to see which of the coefficient is more you can say significant, which of the coefficient is not significant, like you have the age, you have the income, you have the CIBIL score. Okay, and then you will stick on the summary table. Okay, once you have done it, then you will get the output. You will get the output which is called the summary of canonical discriminant function. So first table, you will get the eigenvalue. In the eigenvalue, whenever your higher eigenvalue means more than one eigenvalue is always better. These are the indicators to take the decision. More than one eigenvalue is always better, and in the case of Wilks lambda, the lower Wilks lambda is always better. Now the question comes to in your mind is to you definitely that what is Wilks lambda and what is this eigenvalue? I will let you know in the coming slides. So here is the process. You go to analyze, and in the analyze you will go to discriminant. Okay, this is a classify mein aapko, you have the drop down option is given to you a discriminant. So this way you are going to apply, and you will select these options which I have just shown you in the previous also. The first table you will come in the output is called the group statistics. In the group statistics, you are getting the mean, standard deviation, age wise mean, income wise mean, year since married, means whatever the variables we have in the case of low risk category, low risk customer. And similarly, in the case of high risk customer, we have these mean of age, income of the high risk customer, and the year since married. The next table you will see in the output will be your classification matrix. In the classification matrix, this table is very, very important to report in your research paper, to report in your thesis, because this actually table will tell you that whether the classification is right or wrong. So generally, you have the two types of output you will get here, like low risk and low risk, because I have the two type of categories in my data set. One is the low risk and high risk. So generally, the diagonally means this 9 and 8. They are actually correctly classified by the software, by the algorithm. The reason being, observed default is low risk, and the prediction made by the software is also says that these 9 type of customers are low risk and low risk, and these 8 type of customers are high risk and high risk. But this one customer is wrongly classified. So that's why it is written over here that 94.4% of originally grouped cases are correctly classified. Means is model mein, if you look at this model, in this model 94.4% jo cases hain, that has been correctly classified by this analysis, whereas the 15.6% are not accurately classified. Okay, so how good the model it is. Correct classification means you will take more than 90%, more than 80%. This is a good indicator that the model is perfect. This actually will tell you that whether the model is correct, good or not in order to classify. Then you have the Wilks lambda. Wilks lambda value should always be between the 0 and 1. Here it is 0.3 na, 0.31 mein it is a you can say what we can call is a bad fit model. Bad fit means the lower the value close to 0, it is a better discriminating power of the model. मतलब जितना ज़्यादा Wilks lambda की value 1 से 0 और 1 के बीच में होगी, then we can call it as a better discriminating power of the model. Means the model is better in discriminating the customers between the high risk and the low risk. So 0.319 is a good indicator of a good model. It is an indicator of good model. From the next, we will report the eigenvalue model. Eigenvalue means that it is always be more than one, and at the same time you will get the coefficients also, standardized, canonical, discriminant function coefficients, which you will get from the this. Don't worry, the software will compute these functions. Only tells me that which of the coefficient is more prominent, which of the coefficient is more best predictor. So higher the coefficient, like in the case of age, monthly income, and years since marriage, you know that the value of age, the coefficient age is 0.92, which is greater than monthly income, which is greater than years since married. So we can say that age is one of the best, you can say age is the best predictor, with coefficient 0.92395, followed by the income, and then followed by the year since marriage. Okay. Next, you are going to have this one more table with you. You can see the functions of group centroid. Actually, the algorithm of this discriminant actually classifies on the basis of the centroid. So negative means high risk and positive means low risk. Whenever the function positive is there, like 1.378, it determines that this is a low risk. This denotes that risk of default is low risk. When it is negative means it is a risk of default of high risk. So how do we classify that whether the customer is a high risk or low risk? So we are going to determine the discriminant linear equation. So we are going to compute the linear discriminant function by using a equation like y is equal to alpha plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta x3. So what is this alpha? This is one is constant, or you can say y is equal to a plus bx. You write a linear equation. Like similarly, the discriminant function is written like this way: y is equal to constant plus the coefficient into the independent variable, that is age, plus the another coefficient, that is the monthly income, that is the 0.008 into income, plus 0.08465 into the year since marriage. When you calculate it, when the value of y, when you compute it, it is 3.0975. So it is not negative, it is positive. So when it is positive, it means your customer falls under the low risk category. It falls under the low risk category. But had there been a negative value, then the branch manager will take the decision that this customer falls under the high risk category. So this way you are going to take the classify in your data on your research paper, that you are going to report this thing. So now I am going to give a very crisp presentation. Just give me a 1 minute. I will show you in the SPSS also that how you are going to carry this study in the real science. So first of all, you will click on open. I have the data. The data is, I am having just a moment. So you have the risk, age, income, and married. Okay, so you know that you have the risk means your nominal, that is the high risk and the low risk. Age is also, you have the age in years, you have the ratio data, so that is why you are taking scale. What is your age? Income is also the ratio type, the scale type of data, and married since marriage is also the ratio type of data. Only risk is the categorical data. That is why I have taken it to a nominal and the nominal scale. So very simple. It is very simple. So you have the three independent. This is the risk is your dependent variable, and age, income, marriage is your metric data. So these are the independent variable. Go to analyze, classify. Is the SPSS visible to you? Screen is visible. Please tell me, is the screen visible to you?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay. Visible, na? Okay. So this is the risk. This is the bank example. I have taken the same example which I just taught you. It's not a car example. It is just a bank example which I have just given you for the discriminant analysis. So go to analyze and classify. Here is the classify. It is the option given to you, classify. In the classify, you will click on discriminant. In the discriminant grouping variable is always categorical. That is risk. Risk means you have the one is high minimum and two is the second category. Okay, and independents are your age, income, and number of years of marriage. Okay, and then you will go to statistics. In the statistics, we can take mean or univariate ANOVA, box-M, which you can take unstandardized or continue. And in the classify, you will choose the option all groups equal, means you are taking all groups equal, or you are computing from the group sizes. I always prefer to select the compute from group sizes, whatever the number of customers or whatever the number of respondents you are having. Okay, then continue and then click on OK. Once you click on OK, the output will come, which I'm going to show you. Just a moment. This is the output. So now you can report one by one. First is the case processing summary, which will tell you the missing value. And this is very simple, I think, descriptive. ये तो मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं होनी चाहिए, वैसे आपको पता ही होना चाहिए इतना तो कि this is the mean, this is the standard deviation of the low risk customer, this is the mean standard deviation of the high risk customer according to the age, monthly income, and number of years. And this would be your most important, and the equality of variance should be there. So we can check from the box M test. Box M is 0.57 when it is greater than p value greater than 0.05. So we can say the equality of variance assumed. So again, we can met this assumption, and then we are going to see the summary of canonical discriminant function from the eigenvalue and Wills lambda. So eigenvalue is greater than 2. It is a good indicator, and Wills lambda is close to 0. So again, it is a better discriminating predictor model. And then you have the, you can say then you will report the canonical discriminant function, where you will report the coefficients. Like this is the coefficient of age 0.246, this is the coefficient of income 0.803, and this is the coefficient of numbers of years marriage 0.085, and this is the constant. So you derive a discriminant function, okay, which I have told you. You can go through the equation also. You have a number of good books are there where we have a complete topic of discriminant analysis. So you can frame the discriminant function, and the whatever the value comes, and on the basis of negative and positive, you can take the decision whether you are going to offer the credit card or not. Okay, so basically this discriminant analysis is a multi-discriminant technique which is used to classify, which is used to predict, which is used to you can say what we can say is that you can divide, okay, the cases in the on the basis of scores. You are able to classify that in your dependent variable, which is categorical, that whether it is classified or not. So basically discriminant function is a classification, and it is also called the you can call it as a predictive prediction method, where you are going to based on the metric data, you are going to classify the dependent variable, which is the categorical data. So I think time is fast and we are late. So okay, thank you very much. So I will give you this PPT and 1-2 exercises so you can do at your own, because in the slide also, even whenever I share the slides, I have given this example. Today you can do this exercise. You can do this exercise on the discriminant analysis at your own. At your own, I will share the data set with you of this wool manufacturing survey, or even in the case of this chi-square also, I have given you this particular data set for your practice. Okay, so please do the data entry. Jab tak aap khud nahi karoge, to you will not come to know. Do this data entry at your own and try to execute the chi-square at your own. Similarly, I will share this wool manufacturing data with you. I'll give you this data and try to classify the customers, whether your customer is a prospective buyer or it's not a not prospective buyer. Okay, so thank you very much, ma'am. Over to you. It's now 7:01. So I will
Hello,
go.
everyone.
I'm still in the campus. I'm still in the campus because of the Guru Ravidas Jayanti. Highway is very blocked. So I thought to be remain in the campus and taught you this. I don't want to miss any excuse while taking this FDP that I am stuck in the highway jam or that jam. Okay. So thank you very much. So that's all from my side.
Myself, Dr. Parampreet Kaur. I extend a hearty vote of thanks to Dr. Pawan Kumar for sharing a very valuable and informative knowledge with us. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Okay, ma'am. So tomorrow we'll meet with the factor analysis. Okay. Surely. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thanks to all.
All right. Thank you, participants, for your overwhelming response and your contribution in the chat boxes. Okay. Thank you.